Hello there. I had some requests, quite a few requests actually, for people from people asking me to do a walkthrough of our course, everything that's included. So if you're interested, this is the video for you. And if you're not, I'm not trying to sell you the course if you're not interested. So forgive me, but I wanted to make sure that I did as I was told. So the course is called You versus Google. It's part of an umbrella brand that we're building called You versus Traffic, because we're going to have like a You versus YouTube, You versus Facebook, You versus Ecom, etc. And the reason for that naming convention, by the way, is I feel like we're at odds with these networks, obviously, right? Like, you know, Google's, most of the education that's put out there is like how to use Google and live inside of the rules that they've provided. And it's like, man, that's not the way this is going to work. You're a combatant. And there's other combatants, or your competitors, other advertisers, alternatives, whatever. But there's also like the environment that we're in. It's straight up Hunger Games, y'all. So you're fighting the other people, but you're also like at the mercy of this crazy, aggressive, and dangerous environment. Is the way to think about it. And my course is built around trying to navigate that environment. So. It's the first course I've created for myself. I've done a ton of coursework for other people throughout the years, but this is the first one I've ever launched. It's expensive. It's $1,000. It's not the most expensive course in the whole wide world, but it's expensive for a Google Ads course. You know, some people have courses for like $47 or $500 or whatever. But generally speaking, their courses are just built to try to sell you something else. There's no ascension here for me. There's no opportunity for monetization outside of the course, and I dove deep. So here's the inside of the course. You can see that, I've got it broken down categorically. So introduction, a little bit of preface. And then I also, as I was making the course, Google kept rolling out these insane updates. And I kept having to reshoot. And I finally realized this is the wrong way to do it, because if I reshoot the lesson and start from zero, you actually don't know how to contend with that update, because you might have an account or campaign that was built pre-update too. And so what we chose to do instead, and I want to do this from here on out, is whenever Google makes an update, I'll go in and I'll update the course, but instead of changing the lesson, I'm going to add. So there will be an overlay. And what that does is it lets anybody who's new to the course understand, what happened and why the new decision has been made, and it lets anybody who's taken the course before know what changes to pay attention to. If that makes sense. I do quite a bit in the way of philosophical discussions, which, some of y'all might like and some of y'all might be unhappy about. But this is a half hour of me talking about the philosophy behind Google Ads. So there's, and that's the other thing that I want to say is the course content is robust. So if you don't like my face or my voice, don't buy this damn thing, because you're just going to be putting up with me for a really long time. But the principles, the core concepts, just understanding Google Ads, and what's cool about this is you could be doing Google for a decade, and I still think I'm going to provide value here because of the change in paradigm, the You versus Google change in paradigm. I've also created something that I'm calling the Google Ads Flywheel, which I stole the concept of the flywheel from the folks over at Digital Marketer. But our flywheel, the way we've constructed it, is completely unique to Google Ads. And it's a really good paradigm to have as you approach, the Google Ads ecosystem. There's a bunch of stuff in here. So core concepts, pre-work, setting the foundation for your campaign, conversion rate optimization on your site, which is something a lot of people ignore. The setup, and I'm click by click, y'all. So I'm not going to say like, oh, go create this and then come back. It's like, nope, here's exactly how we do all of these things. I also have what I think is a great lesson on estimates and projections. I have something similar inside of our YouTube account, but this one dives a little bit deeper. It's 22 minutes. And you'll see that we've got worksheets throughout. So there's, helpful guides and checklists that, I'm hoping kind of assist you on your learning journey. And then there's also, the access available to you for certain assets. All of them free. There's no gate, there's no paid gate beyond once you've paid for the course. There's no ascension here either. Well, I guess maybe that's a lie. The only ascension that and it's not built into the course, but the only ascension opportunity here really for you is we're going to roll out a membership that helps people on an ongoing basis. But it's not like you need that in order for the course to work. Spend a ton of time on conversion tracking because it's so important. Here's what pisses me off. Most courses skip this. They skip it. And if they don't skip it, then they like phoned it in. They're like, oh yeah, you need to set up conversion tracking. Here's where conversions live inside of Google Ads. I'm click by click. I help you figure out website conversions, phone call conversions, and we're doing it inside of GTM. We're doing it the right way. Best practices, as you can imagine, you hear me harp on this all the time, but the way that things are supposed to work, this is where we'll probably end up having to make some updates. Like when I shot this course, Broad Match Modified hadn't been deprecated yet. And so, there's just some updates that need to be paid attention to. I'm teaching you how to build the campaigns, or how to build Google Ads campaigns the way that we build them for clients. So this isn't a overview of the dashboard. We actually walk through and we build the 4 key campaigns. And I show you exactly how to do that. And if you were to follow along with this, and you can see, like, here's my general campaign, competitor campaign, remarketing campaign. If you were to follow along with this, brand campaign, you would end up with basically exactly what we build for our clients. And again, you can see just how robust these damn things are. Talking about negative keyword lists, and then I've got a ton on campaign management and optimization. This is probably where I'm most disappointed in my ability to deliver value from a course perspective. And it's not that I didn't try my hardest, I absolutely did. It's that this is the hardest thing to teach because it's so industry and business specific. I can't be there with you. I can't sit there and say, like, I can teach you how to start the test, but knowing how and when to calibrate, that's something that you learn over time. So it's not that I have failed here. I don't believe that I have. I actually think this is pretty damn good, all things considered. It's that this is the hardest thing to learn from coursework. This is the thing that you learn when you actually run campaigns. And so if this feels a little light to you, that's why. It's kind of like, hey, I can teach you how to ride a bike, but I can't be on the path with you as you're on your mountain trek, wherever it is that you're trying to go. I don't know where you're going. I don't know what kind of bike you have, that type of thing. That analogy is a little flawed, but you get what I'm trying to say. And then, I've got my sign off. So more than enough coursework here to keep you busy. 52 total lessons. I don't know how many hours I haven't counted. But I'm really proud of it. And my strong hope is that it helps you. I want people to, I want you guys to succeed, especially because there are businesses out there that can't afford us. And up until this point, I've had nowhere to send them. I've had nothing to do other than like, hey, here's what to look out for. We created a checklist when hiring an agency. And I try to explain some of the pitfalls. But I've always felt bad in my inability to serve some folks. And this fixes that. This now it's like, hey, if you don't have the money, you gotta have time. If you don't have time, you don't have money, you shouldn't be in business, right? Like, you have to spend money or you have to spend time. If you have neither of those things, then you don't have the ability to invest here. And so if you don't have the money to hire, a high-end agency, then now, I realize the course is more expensive than other courses, but I mean, think about it this way. This, in my opinion, is more valuable than most college degrees at this point. And hopefully nobody minds me saying that. I would win that argument if you want to play that game with me. Like, obviously, if you go get a doctorate or something, you're an attorney, like, you need your degree. But for the most part, all the, BS and communications, you will make more money and be more valuable in an organization if you know Google Ads than you will if you just have some generic 4-year college degree. And I'm not trying to bash college degrees. I'm just letting you know the way that I position this from a value perspective. So, it's a little more expensive than other Google Ads courses, but that's because it's an entire vocation. I'm teaching you an entire vocation here. And this is what we do for our clients. So remember, and I said this in my other video, this isn't e-commerce. This is not e-commerce. This is lead gen only. So for lead generation, professional services, those types of things, this is the course for you. For my e-com folks, stay tuned. We've got an e-com course coming. It's going to be out at the end of April, or at the end of May, hopefully. And I know y'all are like, dude, I've heard that before, but I'm going to do my best to be better with deadlines. And we also have a challenge coming up that's going to really help you, the 3X Shopify Challenge that starts May 10th. So stay tuned. I hope this is helpful. Really appreciate everybody who's interested. If you end up buying the course and you take it, I'd love your feedback. I will make live and active adjustments for you if I feel like it will help everybody who's going to take the course. Like, if it's just for you and you're like, show me how to do this for a dry cleaner, I'm probably not going to do that. But if there are gaps or things that are missing, I don't mind making this an iterative experience because I want this to be the best course in the whole wide world. That's enough selling from me today. Appreciate y'all watching. Love that we're just blowing up the way that we're blowing up, and I'll see you tomorrow.